Boys and girls, brothers and sisters, it's good to see you here today, Travis High School. I want to explain before we begin exactly what we're doing here. You may see these cameras, and we're being filmed today for the Austin Music Network to be broadcast a little later on. So you're going to be on television, kids. So you've got to be on your best behavior. And you know what that means. I know you know what that means. Since you are mostly music students, I believe, are here today, you're going to be entertained by some of the best musicians that this city has to offer, and I'm not really necessarily including myself. I'm talking about some great players that you're going to hear today, and it's right here, brought to you by the Austin Arts Commission, and also the Texas Commission on the Arts. And they allow us to come into the schools and play our music. In this case, my name is Bob Livingston. I came all the way from Austin, Texas, just to be here today. And in 1987, myself and this fellow over here that playing this strange-looking instrument called the guitar sitar, we went to India, and we toured all over India. And from 1987 to 1991, did a series of tours, and for the United States Information Agency, which is sort of part of the State Department, and some of your tax dollars paid for us to go all over these exotic countries, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, to spread the gospel of country music. And we were doing a sort of a history of American folk and country music along the way for these folks. And in the process, we started inviting local Indian musicians on stage with us to play. And it sort of evolved into this new hybrid that we call loosely country and Eastern music, or Ragabilly. And we have came back here to Austin, assembled this group, and we've been performing in schools and are going to make a CD and try to get the music out to more people. You won't see this kind of stuff anywhere else but Austin, Texas, and that's what's great about Austin, because it brings to you the best in cutting-edge art and music. We're going to be performing some works from this new sort of musical called Cowboys and Indians, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And the last thing I want to say is, a lot of us, we've been playing for a long time, and some of us are very deaf. So when you do applaud, make sure that we can hear you, you know, and also the cameras as well. And we will begin now. In India and in Pakistan, a lot of places of the East, and even the American Indians, they take music very, very seriously. It's not music or art for art's sake. It always has a meaning. Music does something to you. It takes you somewhere. It raises the heart. In India, their musical tradition is so complex and so strict that the word for musician, it's a Sanskrit word, it's called Bhagavatar, and it means one who sings praises to the Lord. That's their reason for music. Not necessarily a religious thing, but to raise your heart and take you to some other place. And many times you'll watch the musicians of India, which we have 2 representations here on stage today, and they will be in another place. And that's hopefully what we can do. And in honor of that tradition in India, we're going to light some Indian incense. And likewise, the Native American Indians that lived right here in this country have a great tradition. All their music, all their songs are dedicated to the Great Spirit, and there's a reason for it. They don't just sit around and listen to music, though I'm sure they do too sometimes, but there's always a purpose for their music. And in honor of that tradition, we're lighting some Indian sage, and we're spreading this out. Now, I know you don't understand it. Doesn't it smell good? It smells good. You don't think it smells good? You'll get used to it. So in the process of traveling all over the country, we were there to play country music in India. And what we told them there was, we're here to play country music. What country? That's the question. There's a destiny that makes us brothers. None goes his way alone, and all that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. I care not what his temples or his creeds. One thing holds firm and fast, that into his fateful heap of days and deeds the soul of man is cast. Some cowboys and Indians were riding across the land on a blood-red painted desert, lone equestrians. Sometimes red is black and black is white. Mortal colors vanish from your sight, but not the cowboys in India. Visionary drifters on a timeless caravan, sticking close together when things get out of hand, sharing in an unspoken word that each and every one of them had heard. The cowboys in India. Sacred, almost holy, they were here before me. Carry on. Through the lost horizon, went into disguise and carried on. never without focus, always on a sacred trail. And it's absolutely guaranteed their steps will never fail. And the wheel is turning even standing still. And the wisest men know never to reveal the cowboys in India. Thank you. East is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet. You have any idea who said that? You ever heard it before? East is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet. A great author. He was a poet, author. He wrote Jungle Book. He wrote Kim. He wrote A Man Who Would Be King. His name was Rudyard Kipling. He lived in India. He has a great poem, and it begins with those words: East is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet. But what a lot of people don't realize, the poem goes on to say, but there be neither east nor west, nor border, nor breed, nor birth, when two strong men come face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth. Now, there is a great father of Indian history. He's sort of known as the father of India. He's called Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma meant great soul. His real name was Mohandas Gandhi. In 1893, this boy was 17 years old, and he was a law student at Cambridge University. Meanwhile, back in America, a great Indian war chief whose name was Sitting Bull, he was about 60 years old, and he joined up with an outfit called Buffalo Bill's Wild West. Well, they went to London, and just think if these two Indians from opposite ends of the earth, if they had met, what would they have talked about? Probably wouldn't have been politics. They were both homesick. Well, now Mahatma Gandhi and Sitting Bull were lying in the sun around the swimming pool, talking about breaking all the rules and listen to the river flow. The Mahatma winked and he flashed a grin. He said, the wild east is where I've been. If you've seen it once, you gotta see it again. You gotta see the Himalayan snows. Well, Sitting Bull said, Gandhi Ji, it's the Great Plains for me, chasing buffalo and living free and watching all my children grow. Well, Gandhi pulled his weaver's thread and he spun some yarns. Then he said, no need for the Tibetan Book of the Dead to know which way the spirit goes. Where the spirit goes. and east is west. We're only one planet, and that's the test. We're just passing through, we got no address, awakening what we don't know. Well, Sitting Bull and Gandhi too, they share a pipe with me and you. They both knew how to break the rules and listen to the river flow. And listen to the river flow. Thank you. I know what you're thinking right now because the beat is infecting you. You and every young boy and every young girl in this room has the beat in his or her heart. You know, universe means one song. And the beat is beating in your heart today. In 1953, friends, Bob Wills was on this very stage, and that was when the beat was young. He played a show. Do you believe me? Bob Wills, 1953. Actually, that was when the beat was young. It's more like, John, I know what you're saying. It's more like, okay, 50 years ago, what would that, 1940 something? That was when the beat was young. Way off? Okay. We'll go back 100 years. We can't even remember 100 years ago. The world didn't exist 100 years ago, right? That was when the beat was young. You're saying, I can see what you're saying. All right, 150 years. We'll go back 150 years. Wait a minute, 200? Do I hear 250? 250 years ago when the beat was young, that's right. Hey, wait a minute. This guy says 400. 400 years. Hey, you got 5. Do I have 6? 600. Let me have 650. 657, 700, 758, 895, 95, 25,000 years ago, friends, when the beat was young. That's right. There were people all over this area of the world, and they were beating on logs and sticks, whatever they had, sending out this beat way out into the cosmos. It's sort of, the world was in upheaval. There were volcanoes going off. You talk about Mount St. Helens. I mean, there were volcanoes blowing off, especially a long time ago. And that was adding to the beat. And there was a lot of confusion going on because guys were going around with spears and stuff, and you never could tell when a saber-toothed tiger was going to jump out. So they were beating on these logs, and it kind of sounded like this. That was when the beat was young. And as the beat rose, it kind of rose up into the air and touched the clouds. It rose upon the waves of the firmament. I love to say it, the waves of the firmament. I'll say it again. Paul once said, it rose on the waves of the firmament. And it just went on up into the great cosmos, and the beat started circling around, sort of tornado-like, and it spread out. You see, it came from Africa and India, the cradle of civilization, the cradle of the beat. And this music started filtering down to the oceans. And as the ocean carried the beat on the waves, it started touching all these islands. It went down around South Africa, down by the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles, and as John always loves me to say, the Antilles heal. I don't know why he loves me to say that, but I say it every time. So as the beat roamed around it, people started adding to it. And in India, that's when they really got sophisticated. This is Alok Dutta here, ladies and gentlemen. He's playing the tabla, and the Indian tradition of the beat was a little different. Show us what we're talking about. And also in India, over here we have Oliver Rajmani. And there got to be this gypsy influence. Oliver's a gypsy. He's from India. The gypsies roamed, that's where they came from. They roamed all over the world. They took this heritage and this beat and this tradition. He's playing an instrument called the kala. Ended up in Spain to accompany flamenco dancers. This is what that sounded like. That's the beat. And as the beat roamed and left that part of the world, it went on over to South America, on past the Cape of Good Hope and the Cape of Good Horn, all those capes, came on up past Cuba. Picked up a Latino kind of feel, you know, Paul? Cumbia. Came on into the mouth of the Gulf of Mexico and right on up to the Rio Grande. And brothers and sisters, when the beat had reached the Rio Grande, the beat was in Texas. And when we got to Texas, the beat sounded like this. It's the truth. Anyway, we're going to go back to those days of yesteryear where they were just kind of beating on these hollow logs and sending out that beat, that good vibration into every one of us. Ancient man beating on sticks and rocks, sending out a rhythm nearly round the clock. Beat is infectious and busting loose, and trying to hold back just wasn't no use. All the cats around feeling they got stung. Way back in history when the beat was young. Chief says to sing and dance, smoke peace pipe and make romance. Beat is infectious, busting loose. Oh, trying to hold back just didn't know you. Kicking evolution up another run. In history when the beat was young. I said, if you believe me, say yeah. That's better. One more time. If you believe me, say yeah, yeah. That's right. Well, now the beat is spread all over the world. Yes, it beats in the hearts of every boy and girl. Kicking work when there's work to be done. Even today when certain songs are sung, we thank God Almighty that the beat is young. The beat is young. The beat is young. Yeah, the beat is young. Oh, the beat is young. Thanks, folks. We got Richard Bowden on the fiddle here. Make him welcome. He plays for the Lounge Lizards, if anybody's ever heard of that band. Great band, go all over the world, play. We got John Inman on that guitar, that rock and roll guitar over there. That's right. Might as well introduce everybody else. We got back here on the drums playing every instrument possible. We got Pablo Percusso Piercy. And he went to Westlake High School, girls. We got David Heath back on the stand-up bass. David Heath, one of the great musicians here in town. We got Alok Dutta on the tabla, all the way from Calcutta, India. And Oliver Rajmani, he's from southern India, down in Tamil Nadu. He looks kind of, have you ever seen the movie? Have you ever seen the movie Jungle Book? He looks like Mowgli, doesn't he? He does. See, they think so too. He whose heart the dust of India has lain shall find peace in no other land. I was all alone in the wilderness. I was searching for something that I could not miss. I go up to the highest through the bottomland. That's when I will take my stand. I take my stand. I take my stand. I reach up high. Take my stand. There's no beginning to truth, my friend. There is no end. There is no end. There is no end. searching for something that I could not miss. I go up to the highest through the bottomland, and then I will take my stand. I take my stand. I take my stand. Help me sing it. I reach up high. Take my stand. For there is no end. There is no end. There's no beginning, and there is no end. There's no end. Now I've got to get in tune, friends. Do you know what it's like to be out of tune? I bet you do know what it's like to be out of tune. How many of you are in the band? How many of you are in the band here, in the orchestra? Are you music students? Here we are back here, yeah. When you're out of tune, everybody turns around and looks at you, you know. Say, I know what you mean. You know, the mythology and the legends of a culture and of a country in many ways are much more important than the history of that country. Now, why would you say that? Because in the mythology, in the legends, that's where you see what people really thought about life, what their fears were, what they were afraid of, what they were happy about. Their religions came from there. It was very vibrant when you look into the mythology and the legends of a country. And they unearthed an old Sanskrit scroll about 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, I think. And it said, just as a water jar is filled drop by falling drop, so is a child filled with knowledge. And knowledge is transferred through time and space, you see, from like parent to child, from the teacher to the student, and from the master to the apprentice. And in turn, that child becomes a parent, and he has a child, and he carries on that oral tradition. And the student becomes a teacher. And then he or she has a student, and she carries on. And the apprentice becomes a master and carries on. And your teachers are trying their best to give you some of the knowledge they learn. You should always respect your teachers. It's a very, very sacred tradition in most of the world to be a teacher. Sometimes teachers will tell you strange things. Listen to this story. In the 1400s, there was this cat. His name was Christopher Columbus. Now, the prevailing wisdom of the time was that the earth was flat. And that if you went out there too far on a ship, you'd fall off of the edge of the earth. That's what people believed. Well, Columbus, he didn't believe that. He thought the earth was round. And he thought, Spain was doing a lot of trade with India. All of Europe was doing a lot of trade with India at the time for their spices, their food. They got great food. Go eat some Indian food sometime. You'll see what I'm talking about. And they figured, well, it's kind of hard to get through this overland route. Wonder if we sailed west to get to the east. They said, but the world is flat. Don't you understand? You'll fall off the edge. No. If I sail west, I'm going to go all the way around the earth, and I'll get to India. And he convinced the king and queen of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella, to give him some money so he could buy 3 ships, and he mounted this giant campaign, and he sailed out west. And he hit land. And where did he think he was? He thought he was in India. And the first people he saw were these beautiful people that came out to greet him, and he said, Los Indios, the Indians. And that's how the American Indian got their name. And so there's this karmic connection, sort of, between the two. They had incredible stories. The Indians in San Salvador, where he landed, they believed that when their warriors would die in battle, they would go up to heaven and smoke these big cigars. And that's what we see at night as the stars. That's one of the things that they believe. I'll tell you what, that's not any crazier than thinking the world was round in those days. This is a little song called I Believe It. So next time your teacher is telling you something, look into her eyes. Now people trust only what they see, but they don't have it right. Something's higher there for me when your eyes fill up with light. Upon a time once long ago when this old world was new, everything had an inner glow, and with wings the mountains flew. And I believe it, yes it really must be true. Yes I believe it, 'cause it was told by you. You told me once when heroes die, they like to smoke cigars. And when they light 'em in the sky, it's what we call the stars. Diamonds grow on the bushes, and crocodiles love to sing. We get answers to our wishes, and monkeys tell their troubles to the king. And I believe it, yes it really must be true. Yes I believe it, 'cause it was told by you. And you put magic in the day and given faith to me. The truth shines in every word you say, and what you wish will be. So let me follow you when you go to the land where legends live. All is real and there's no show, and no one takes but gives. And I believe it, yes it really must be true. Yes I believe it, 'cause it was told by you. Say, and what you wish will be. So let me follow you when you go to the land where legends live. All is real and there's no show, and no one takes but gives. And I believe it, yes it really must be true. Yes I believe it, 'cause it was told by you. Yes, I believe it, and it really must be true. I believe it, 'cause it was told by you. It was told by you, and I believe it. Geronimo, he took a stand. He had a failure to communicate with the United States government. So what they did, they took him up to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and they put him in the stockade up there in the fort. Put him in jail. And one day in 1903, now listen to me because I'm going to ask you to believe me what I'm telling you. In 1903, the governor of Oklahoma was driving his brand new Cadillac convertible down a dusty dirt road in southeastern Oklahoma. Do you believe me? What do you mean? 1903, Cadillacs, they had them. And he had one. He had three of his friends with him, one of them from Washington, D.C., who was a photographer. And you know, they were creating this new institution up in Washington, trying to preserve all aspects of American life. And this governor, he thought to himself, you know, I think I'm gonna go on up there where they got old Geronimo in jail, and I'm gonna get this here photographer to take a picture of him in this here Cadillac. And I'm gonna send it up there to the Smithsonian. You never can tell, maybe it'll end up there. So that's what they did. They drove on up to Fort Sill, and they went up to his Braves, and they asked his Braves, do you think Geronimo would sit for a photograph in this Cadillac? They'd never even heard of a Cadillac. And his Braves said, no way would he ever do this. He's a very proud man. But when Geronimo heard it, Geronimo, he was perceptive. He said, wait a minute, boys, you're missing the point. You're forgetting about publicity and public relations and the media. Who knows in 100, 150, 200 years, who's going to be looking at this photograph? Who knows what it'll do? So they went out, and they went out into the yard, and they sat in this Cadillac convertible. Somebody gave Geronimo a top hat, and he put it on, and he grabbed the wheel, and he had three of his Braves sitting with him. And they were very proud looking. And Geronimo stared right into the lens of the camera, and he stared into history. And it just goes to show you, you young whippersnappers, next time you have your picture taken, you better put on your best face, because you too may end up in the Smithsonian Institution just like Geronimo did. And this is the story of Geronimo and his Cadillac. Well, they put Geronimo in jail down south, where he couldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Sergeant, Sergeant, don't you feel something's wrong with your automobile? Governor, Governor, isn't that strange how you never see a car out on that Indian range? Warden, Warden, listen to me. Be brave and set Geronimo free. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Help me sing it. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Give it. They took old Geronimo by storm, and they ripped off the feathers from his uniform. White man, don't you know the Indians ain't got no place to go? Well, Jesus told me, and I believe that it's true. The red men are in the sunset too. We ripped off his land, and we won't give it back. And we sent Geronimo a Cadillac. Whoa, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Help me sing it. Whoa, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Help me sing. Whoa, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride me sing it. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Oh, boys, take me back. I want to ride in Geronimo's Cadillac. Now, I know you heard me when I was doing that yodeling, didn't you? You heard me and you wondered what I was doing, right? I was going, yodeling. It's real simple to do, and I'm going to teach you how to be the first kid on your block to be a yodeling fool, okay? It's real simple. We're going to build it around this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. St. Peter owed a ticket to the pearly gates, but he won it in a raffle game. If there was just another late twist of fate, St. Judas could have done the same. He had an equally famous name. There's been a whole lot of shaking going on out there ever since the world began. But if you don't take advantage of your chances, son, your chances might never come again. So take advantage of your chances. All right, friends, gather around the old fireside. Your grandpa's gonna teach you how to yodel. It's real easy to do. You go. Yodelay, 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 yodelay. You can do that, can't you? Yodelay, 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 yodelay. All right, we'll do something easier. Here goes. I'm gonna yodel, and you're gonna yodel back. We need a little audience participation. Participation is what I mean. Okay, ready? Yodelay, you try that. That's pretty good. Yodelay, come on. Something easy, say, come on. I sing, come on. I sing, graduated from the Yodeling Fools School right here at Travis High School. You're yodeling fools. How does it feel? Oh, so do something smart. That's a wise thing to do when you really feel helpless and dumb. There's enough dummies running around these days, but they'll vanish when the kingdom come. Yeah, they're gone when there's work to be done. Been a whole lot of shaking going on out there ever since the world began. But if you don't take advantage of your chances, son, chances might never come again. So take advantage of your chances. It's true. I want to thank you for coming, kids. I want to thank the Austin Music Network. I want to thank Pam McAnally, who helped get this together, and all the teachers. I stand most humbly before man's wisdom, knowing that we are not really wise. For if we were, we'd open up the kingdom and make earth happy as the dreamed of skies. I want to introduce everybody one more time. John Inman on that guitar sitar. We got Oliver Rajmani on the kinjara. Alok Dutta on tabla. David Heath on that bass. Listen to that. We got Paul Piercy on the percussion back here. And Richard Bowden on that violin, that fiddle. My name is Bob Livingston. We're the Cowboys and Indians. Thank you so much for coming. Namaste. Thanks for coming. I was all alone in the wilderness. I was searching for something that I could not miss. I go up to the highs through the bottomland. That's when I will take my stand. I take my stand. I take my stand.